So I want to share with you a little bit about my journey and how I got into this world of improving people's credit files and credit scores and removing CCJs. Now it started when I was 19 years old. Oh my God, 2 decades ago, when I worked for a company called Phones For You. Now I was a young little whippersnapper and I worked in Croydon, and what I found was half the job was doing the sale, but the second half of the job was profiling the client. So you choose a client that will get their credit passed. Yes, we used to profile clients. Now, what I mean by that is when you get a mobile phone, you have to apply for a credit. You have to apply for credit for a mobile phone, and it gets approved or disapproved. And that's why EE back in the day was the client choice for some demographics, because they were the ones passing everybody. But that's a whole another conversation for another day. Anyway, so that's where I started, where my clients would get failed for their, I've done the hard work, I've done the sale, I've done the upsell. This client is worth money to me. Put them through credit, fail. And I'm like, what? What do you mean fail? I've done all this work, got the box here, I'm trying to get the deal over the line, under pressure, trying to be the top salesperson in my region, which I was. And then now they failed. So I said to myself, okay, well, if they're gonna fail, why are they failing? I would ask all of the companies, why did they fail? We're not able to tell you, but if you go to Experian, at the time it was Equifax was the main one. If you go to Equifax, they'll be able to provide more information. So I was like, what's this who's the Equifax? What? Back then, there was no online digital space. You had to spend £3 with a postal order. I'll show you my age, right? You spent £3 with a postal order or a check. Most people just did postal orders. And you would send off your application for your credit file to Experian and Equifax. And they'll send back this report, and I would go through the client's reports. Because they'll bring it back to me in the shop and I'll be like, okay, let's look at this. Oh, that's your problem. And they'll be like, oh, but that was because of this. Oh, that's the problem. And then there was myths that people would say, oh, it's because of my block, or that's a myth, right? I'll do myths on another day. So people would say things like, oh, I didn't get the credit because my block was blacklisted. That's a myth, right? So they'll bring me their reports and I would go through it and I'll be like, oh, did you know that you had this? Did you know? Oh no, what? Sometimes it was genuine, sometimes it weren't genuine, sometimes they had sicknesses, bereavements, extenuating circumstances, fraud on their account, etc. So I'll be like, okay, this is what we do. Write to them, because I'm trying to get the commission. Write to them, do this, you should, genuine, I'm not, at this time, I had already actually at the time applied for my CMAP. Well, not a financial advisor, but I was just saying what made common sense to me. Go and speak to them and do these things here. Sorry, my CMAP, my certificate in mortgage advice and practice, right? I think that was a little later on actually. No, it was uni time. Yeah, there or thereabout. Cusp. I have to check my dates. I think it was after. Anyway, so I was like getting people to come back to me. They'll come back to me a month later, 2 months later, and I was building my pipeline. And clients were coming back to me, hey, Byron, I've got it removed. Can we try again? Bang, credit goes through. Yes, we have launched the Self-Made Pro Speaker community, helping speakers just like yourself get the support they need without coming to our 2-day live. Yes. So we recognize that you guys need the support, and we recognize you want the support today and now. We only deliver the Self-Made Speakers Academy training bi-monthly, and you need the support now. So I have an incredible opportunity to invite you to join our Self-Made Pro Speaker community for just $49. If you want the support of me, Bianca, and my incredible team, and you want to take action on that today, DM me the word Pro Speaker, and we will share the link with you to join our community. So then I was like, cool. So then I started building so whilst I started profiling clients and who to work with now, I'm building my pipeline for people. They would bring their other friends who got declined in other shops. This guy can help you. That's where it started. Then my friends would get CCJs and defaults, etc., etc. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's look at this, blah, blah. And then as time went on, I then went into doing property. And then we were pre-packaging property for clients. And we had a rule in the industry. We would say, buyers are liars, because we'll ask them, is your credit score good? Yay, it's amazing. And I'm dealing with all these units and I'm trying to get every deal over the line, trying to beat my competitors, package everything, position it to the broker. The broker will come back to me and say, Byron, now this person has been declined for credit, blah, 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 these reasons. I said, what? So then I started doing this. I started saying, great, if anyone, any clients I was dealing with, I was saying, provide me with your credit file so I can review it when I'm submitting your application for your mortgage. So I was a middleman for the broker. I was quality control for the broker. And I'll go through it, quality control it, make sure everything's okay, provide it to the broker. Or if there was a problem, I'll say, this is the problem. Have you seen it? Go back, deal with it before we apply. Because you're going to get a lower rate anyway, and you may get declined for credit. Cool. That's where it was like volume, because I was doing some incredible deals at the time, and I needed these deals to go through. Big money was on the table. So that's when that happened, and I was helping my clients get property and being in the middleman before it gets to the broker. At this time, I had done my CMAP. I hadn't passed, by the way. Oh my God, that's a whole other conversation. But I was in the space of mortgages and understanding mortgages, etc. So that's when I started really doing volume, because it was like, yes, we need to get these clients over the line, etc., etc. Then I just looked at this. I looked back at all of the reasons why they got accepted removal and got declined removal. And then that's when I started, for my clients, that's when the court process started taking place, because some of them were legitimately violated by whomever it was by getting the CCJ. And they were writing to the wrong address, or they were various reasons. So it's like a split test with everything. You see what works, see what doesn't, see where the client can be applicable to use that particular reason, see where they can't, and you move forward. So that's how the journey went. That's how the process was. And that was my journey to, becoming this guru who just has this knowledge in his brain. Boom, do this. And when I pick things up, I'm a very fast learner, but also I'm very applicable. And then my clients was coming to me, Byron, this is my problem. Okay, this is what you need to do. Here's the process. Go ahead, fix it, right? And then I would go to the clients with them to the court hearings, because I was like, cool, like what happens next? I was going to the court hearing with them. And I was just there as a fly on the wall and as moral support. And I would go there and then I would just be like, oh wow, this was a judge's stance on this, and this was the reason why this was a judge's stance on this. And then I was like, okay, cool. Well, if you say this, the judge's not gonna like that. It became a pattern. Right? I was just using real information based on real research. And that's how I got into this space. And then people kept asking me, and social media kept asking me, and I'm like, okay, cool. Whilst I haven't always got the capacity to deal with it, I've had lots of people who can help them deal with that and remove it from their credit files, etc., etc. So that is, in short or in long, my journey into this credit space and how I became a credit guru and expert. And I have an incredible win rate, which I boast about when I speak to my clients. And hopefully that's been useful to you. So if you have a CCJ or need credit repair, again, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to make sure that you ain't getting violated for fees. Because ultimately that's what it is. The worse your credit is, the more you pay for finance. Simple as that. Hopefully it's been useful, and I'll see you on the next one.